A.J. Brown is dealing with an ankle injury. DeForest Buckner might be out for the Colts, and the refs say they didn't see the face mask penalty that not only caused a fumble with Dallas Goedert, but an injury as well. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Thursday as we march towards a Sunday matchup with the Indianapolis Colts. We need to go ahead and jump in with all the latest things happening with the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League, as well as we do almost every single day here on the show. Thumbs up for that. Let's jump into the injury report and the status update for both A.J. Brown and Fletcher Cox. This is something that we need to keep an eye on because A.J. Brown is dealing with an ankle injury, and while he expects to play on Sunday, might not be 100%. Here's the write-up from Bleeding Green Nation. You see the headline. A.J. Brown expects to play. Fletcher Cox feels like crap. Oh, let's see why does he feel like crap? Here we go. This report is an estimation as the Eagles held a walkthrough instead of a normal practice. Team just played on Monday night. 6 players were listed under limited practice. A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, Fletcher Cox, Jason Kelce, Hassan Reddick, and Britton Covey. And the read here, of course, as they say, is that all will play, but they are definitely going to be not playing at 100%. Now, A.J. Brown is dealing with an ankle injury. You saw that in that catch he had on the sideline where he kind of rolled his ankle, and it looked like it could be an Achilles for like 4 seconds, and I freaked out, and you freaked out. He's fine. He told reporters he should be able to suit up on Sunday, but it is not going to be 100% as he needs to go ahead and hopefully kind of work through it this week, get it to be as close to 100% as possible to be able to give it a go on Sunday. And A.J. Brown, despite being shut down against the Washington Commanders, is still a massive part of this offense, probably the most important piece besides Jalen Hurts on this offense, and you definitely need him out there in order to beat a frisky Jeff Saturday-led Colts team, which we'll talk about later on this week. Now, Fletcher Cox was listed as a limited participant with some sort of weird foot injury. We don't know exactly what this is, but he told reporters he, quote, feels like blank after playing 70 snaps in Week 10, which, again, goes back to the whole idea that I talked about yesterday, that Fletcher Cox is kind of washed. Like, I'm not going to sit there and say he's terrible. He still is a, very good defensive tackle in the National Football League, but he's paid like a top 10 defensive tackle, and you shouldn't be feeling that bad after 70 snaps. Hence why they went ahead and signed Joseph yesterday, because they clearly saw that Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams, and the rest of the D tackles on this roster were not getting the job done in terms of not only pass rush, but especially stopping the run, as we've seen the past couple of weeks. Other injuries here is to note, Covey has a thigh. I'm not sure exactly what to do with him in terms of a replacement. We all know he's been terrible in terms of kick returns, yet that was his thing at Utah. Like last year, he was an undrafted free agent because he was great at kick returns and punt returns. Maybe Boston Scott slides into that role. He could elevate Devin Allen if they feel confident. I doubt that they will, but that is something to go ahead and keep an eye on. Kelce, also the ankle injury on that quarterback sneak at the goal line when Jalen Hurts punched it in. Not sure exactly how bad that is, but Kelce's been dealing with a lower body injury the entire season, and so while it's probably precautionary, worth noting, Cam Jurgens is ready and waiting in the wings if needed. Hassan Reddick dealing with a thigh, and DeVonta Smith, a knee injury. That was a back injury earlier on this year, now a knee injury again, so we need to go ahead and keep an eye on. All were limited. It is a Wednesday injury report, so we expect them to go ahead and play, but it is worth noting that some of the key players, all the key players minus Covey, or I should say all the players on that list are stars and key players minus Covey. So we'll keep an eye on that and hope that especially A.J. Brown is good to go, because now without Dallas Goedert, that's one less pass catcher and one less weapon for Jalen Hurts on the outside, meaning other people must elevate in order to play better. Okay, over here to the Indianapolis Colts. Quickly, an update here. This is big. DeForest Buckner, who is probably their best defensive player now that Shaq Leonard is done for the year. He was basically out of practice yesterday dealing with a neck injury, as you see here from Bleeding Green Nation. Now, he played the entire game against the Las Vegas Raiders this past week, and so it's unsure exactly when that neck injury occurred or how bad it is, but not participating at all is way worse than being a limited participant, meaning that it is an injury to keep an eye on, as he would really, that'd be a huge loss for the Indianapolis Colts and a huge gain for the Philadelphia Eagles. You also see cornerback Stephon Gilmore. He did not participate, but that was simply for rest. We forget Rodney McLeod, the former Eagle. He is an Indianapolis Colt. He was out with rest as well. Kwity Paye has an ankle injury. Not sure exactly how bad that one is, but he should be able to go on Sunday. as they did practice late last week, but had a lower snap count in the win against the Raiders. And then finally, you got to at least mention Kenny Moore, the really good young cornerback. He's been out with an illness, but should be able to play. And so really, the focus here are the two main players of Buckner and A.J. Brown. Looks like A.J. Brown will for sure go. The question is, how healthy can he be on Sunday? How effective will he be on Sunday? And then really, the real big circle is DeForest Buckner, because Buckner dealing with a neck injury. That's a little more serious and might possibly hold him out against the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, we'll get to more on this game coming up just a little bit later on this week. We'll talk about the game probably on Sunday morning. Quickly, I do want to mention, I don't normally, I'm not a big Patreon guy. I've never actually really had a Patreon that I set up for this show. I just set it up this past week because people were asking me on Twitter, at @RealThomasMott, Thomas, do you have a Patreon? I want to support the show. So I made one. It's up to you guys. I mean, there's zero pressure here. There's a link down below in the description box if you guys do want to support the show. Obviously, I would appreciate it, but again, the whole point of YouTube is for it to be free for you. So up to you. I just had enough people, message me asking that I went ahead and created it. So link will be down below in the description box, and if you want support, I would appreciate that. Okay, let's go over here to the NFL refs from Monday night. This is an interesting article from CBS Sports where the NFL referees, according to this title, we didn't see a face mask on the field, which is... Oh, man, you can only dwell in the past so much. Like me talking about the no call on the face mask, or you commenting down below, oh, the refs blew a call there, doesn't change the outcome of the actual game. And even if the NFL refs or the NFL were to go back and review this play and say, oh, they missed the call, it's not going to make a difference. Like, it doesn't matter. Philadelphia is going to have one loss this year minimum with the Washington Commanders. But it is amazing to see the refs kind of try to cover their butts, just like you'll see in this article. It's just, oh, man, it is interesting. So here is an interview that Alex Kemp, who was an official for the National Football League, told in an interview with PFWA, pool reporter Zach Berman, quote, "We didn't see a face mask on the field. As far as the review, we were reviewing whether he was down by contact or there was a fumble, and then whether Washington player who recovered the ball was also down by contact." And then they go on to say whether it was a face mask or whether it wasn't a face mask, it's hard for them to see at that time. I get it. We have to protect the ball better. When it came out we didn't do a good job at all that game. We were loose with the football, and it came out, and they got it. That was Nick Sirianni talking about the play. But you go to this, video from John Clark here, and it's just amazing that you can't, one, review that play, and two, that the referee who was this way in the video, who's literally looking right at Dallas Goedert, right here, there's a ref, you can see him on the right side, number 93, the back judge. How do you not see that when you're clearly looking at the football? Again, it doesn't matter whether he could see it or not, or whether he didn't throw the flag or not, because the game is over now. We can't just sit back and cry about it. You guys know I'm not a big, blast from the past guy trying to read into things, but that is, that's rough. What if you actually gave each NFL coach 2 penalty challenges a game? Maybe that would solve things. I don't know. I mean, there's this whole idea of being able to challenge pass interferences in the past that, kind of got thrown away because it was slowing the game down too much. What if you just gave them 1 in the first half, 1 in the second half? That way, in case there was an egregious no call or an egregious call, 1 little quick challenge, quick little 30-second replay, that would have taken literally 0.05 seconds. A newborn infant child could have looked at that replay and through no words of his own said goo goo gaga and clearly told you that that was a face mask penalty. So, ridiculous, but what are you going to do? It's the NFL refs. They miss a lot of calls, and sometimes they go Philadelphia's way, and sometimes they don't. We can't complain about it too much, but it is worth noting. They mentioned it, so I mentioned it here on the Thomas Mott Show. Okay, we're going to get into, obviously, big reaction show tomorrow on Friday. We always do that in terms of Thomas Mott Show, reacting to the hottest Eagle takes, the hottest NFL takes from the national media, some really good ones. There are some people, I think Bart Scott was saying today on ESPN that the Eagles are better off because they lost. Is he right? We'll talk about that in tomorrow's show. Be sure to subscribe, thumbs up the show for that one. You don't want to miss that one. It's going to be good. And how about, I promised a mock draft Saturday. I'm going to do a mock draft Saturday and look at the latest mock draft, who Philadelphia could take with potentially a top 3, top 4 pick. Man, you got to really, really, really be rooting against the Saints the rest of the way out of here. If the Saints keep losing, Philadelphia's going to be so set up for the draft. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. So subscribe for that. Stay tuned for that. Let's wrap up with a quick look at Thursday Night Football, more specifically tying it into Philadelphia, the Green Bay Packers. Now, I have said before that Green Bay's not that good. Offensively, if you stop them running the football, at least in the past 6 games, besides Christian Watson this past week, they've not been able to throw, right? There's been a big regression in terms of how scared you are of Aaron Rodgers throwing the football because his receivers, all being young, have not been that good. Well, that win against the Cowboys, good for Philadelphia, but it does ask the question I've seen on Twitter a lot here, should the Eagles be rooting for the Green Bay Packers, or should they be rooting against the Green Bay Packers? How scared are you of the Green Bay Packers? And I think we can take this very, very easily up front. One, any NFC team you should be rooting against. Vikings, Cowboys, Giants, Packers, go down the list. Seahawks, 49ers, everybody, any NFC team needs to lose. Now, the ones that are closer to Philadelphia, you want them to lose more. But when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, I do worry about them getting a little bit hot here. Now, thankfully, their schedule is not going to allow them to get that hot, right? Tennessee, Philadelphia, the Rams maybe get pesky on Monday night. I don't know. Dolphins are tough. Vikings are tough. Lions beat them earlier. I don't see the Green Bay Packers going on a big enough run to threaten Philadelphia for a 1 or a 2 seed, but I do see the Green Bay Packers being a very pesky 6 or 7 seed, right? Like, you got to think about this. And in terms of the actual playoff standings, if Philly's the 1, they have the bye, they will play the lowest winning seed in the wild card round. So if Green Bay's a 7 seed and they go on the road and upset the 2 seed, you would take Green Bay versus another football team. Now, again, Philadelphia does match up well against Green Bay if they can stop the run, which with Jordan Davis, they should be able to. But at the same time, it is Aaron Rodgers. And in any given week, Aaron Rodgers can be Aaron Rodgers. And so my same thoughts for Tom Brady and the Bucks go to Green Bay and and Aaron Rodgers. I would rather not play them just because they could be getting hot. But if you had to ask me, would you rather play the 49ers or the Green Bay Packers right now? Would you rather play the Vikings or the Green Bay Packers right now? Would you rather play the Giants or the Green Bay Packers right now? Philadelphia matches up better with the Packers, but I don't want to get too, confident just because we know who the quarterbacks are. I think in a playoff situation, you might rather have Kirk on the other side of the football field or Daniel Jones on the other side of the football field or Jimmy Garoppolo on the other side of the football field versus an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady. So we will root for the Titans tonight. Obviously, we think the Tennessee Titans are scary, especially whenever they run the football. They have been extremely good running the football over the past couple of weeks, and obviously with Derrick Henry, it's pretty darn easy to do. I mean, geez, Derrick Henry has been insane throughout his entire career. But at the same time, Green Bay winning is not the worst thing in the world because I don't see them actually being able to catch up to any sort of team that really could, put them in a spot where they would catch Philadelphia for the number 1 seed. All right, we'll finish with quickly a look at DraftKings link here. If you guys want to bet on the game tonight, you can bet $5 on either. You want to bet the Packers money line, you want to bet the Titans money line. With my link here at the TFN website down below in the description box, you bet $5, you get $200 back if that bet wins in free bets. If you guys want to jump in on betting on this game, I would put my money line on the Tennessee Titans. That is just me. I think Derrick Henry's going to have a big night, but you can do what you want, whether it's Titans or Packers, but use the link down below for that. Okay, plenty more content coming up, as I mentioned, next couple of days here. Maybe do a live stream as well for the Titans game. I don't know. We'll see. Thumbs up for that. That's all the time we have for today. Thomas Mott. See you guys.